and every problem exists in the mind of God and is revealed to my mind now. Something in me does know what to do. I joyfully accept its guidance in every situation. I am open to new ideas, new hopes, and new aspirations. This which so recently seemed a problem no longer exists, for the mind of God, which knows the answer, is quietly flowing through my thoughts and feelings. Great peace and joy come over me as I accept this answer from the giver of all life. And so it is. And now I invite you to join us again in 10 minutes at 10:45 for our regular service. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living and our Sunday celebration service. I welcome everyone that is here in the room at Sophie's Grill and Bar, and I welcome everyone that has invited us into their homes through the magic of technology. And I also welcome anyone that happens to watch it not live, but later on in some other time and space of their choosing. My name, for those of you who may not know me, is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I happen to be and have the privilege of being the senior minister of this amazing community. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. Centers for Spiritual Living believe that there is one energy, one power and presence back of everything that there is, seen and unseen. We believe that it is a benevolent energy, that it is always for us and never against us, that it is more than ready, willing, and able to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth. Not something that we have to wait for after we die, but something that we can be living in right here and right now. We believe that presence and that power is the creative energy, and so because we were created in its image and likeness, we too have the ability to create. That our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs create the experiences of our lives, and they do that consciously or unconsciously. So we invite everyone to be here with us, to come on Sundays or Wednesdays or to classes or to our social events, so that we can support each other as we learn to really consciously choose our thoughts and our feelings and beliefs, so that we can create the life that we really love to live and the world that works for everyone. So I'm grateful that you have joined us today. It just enlarges and expands our community, and I love it. So welcome, and thank you for being here. I have a couple of announcements that I'm going to do up front. And the first is that we have some openings on our leadership council. And I love that these openings are coming right now at the beginning of the year, a time to, infuse some new energy into the council and to really elevate what the council is already doing, but to really step into new ways of doing things and to bring us into our next iteration of the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. So we are looking for volunteers, for people who are interested in serving and would like to perhaps know more, or would like to already throw their hat into the ring. Just to tell you, if you've never been on a board before, it's very similar to a board in a business, but it's really kind of multifaceted. The first could be that it's part of a working board, which means that the members of the board actually at different times of the year roll up their coat sleeves. I couldn't think of that word. Coat sleeves, and actually participate by serving in the everyday activities of the center and of the community themselves. They can also be involved in fundraising, so they were an integral part when we were still able to do our Gourmets for God, and when we are able to do that again, we'll continue to be an integral part of that, and any other fundraising that we might do. They're also involved as a policy-making board at different times, and as a visioning board, meaning that they continue to take time out of their own lives to really vision what we are stepping into, to vision a new way of being, perhaps, that perhaps fits the times a little bit better. They might be involved in goal setting and in reviewing the mission and the vision statements, and in doing some strategic planning, perhaps. But mostly, it's that they are involved in the day-to-day fiduciary decisions that are made about the financial health and wealth of this community. Now, basically, we meet once a month, and lately we've been doing it on Zoom, so you can do it from the comforts of your own home. and then to just, be holding the highest and best for us in every possible way, in growth, in depth, in expansion, in membership, and in finances throughout the rest of the month. And so we are looking for some new people to join, and to Babs is a member of the Leadership Council, and and as is Rebecca. Rebecca's our treasurer, and so we would love for someone else that feels called to step into that. Please get a hold of me either by phone or by email. I would love to talk to you about the possibilities. There's only a couple of things currently that are really requirements, and that is that you have been a member, active, supporting, loyal member of this community for at least a year, and that you have taken the foundations class. So please let me know if you're feeling called to that. I would also like to let you know that beginning this month, we are going to be celebrating our birthdays. And we're going to be doing so the first Monday or the first Sunday of every month. Now, we would love to be able to speak everybody's name into the room. However, we don't want to leave anybody out. So we're not going to single people out by listing them, but we're simply going to dedicate the first Sunday's flowers to everyone with a birthday in that month. So this is January. Let's see if you recognize yourself in this. People who have birthdays in January are generous, kind, spontaneous, and fun-loving. They're very independent, self-motivated, and possess great leadership qualities. So I'll expect that you'll be getting hold of me about the Leadership Council. They're bold, and they stay calm in crises. They can adapt to any situation, and they have a great sense of humor. We see you. We know who you really are. We're grateful for you, and we celebrate the day that you arrived on the planet. And most importantly, we love you. Happy birthday, everyone. Is there anyone here that is actually celebrating birthday in January? Ah, yes. Happy birthday. You came on the right and perfect day. Happy birthday. I would love to thank Babs for her beautiful meditation that she did just a little bit earlier, that actually expanded the container that our service will unfold within. And speaking of Babs, I'd love to invite her back up to the podium. Licensed spiritual practitioner, Barbara Kane.
Good morning again. Okay, I stand really tall to use this microphone. Otherwise, I have to use that down there, and I'm not good at it. So, thank you. Thank you. Okay, the theme for the year 2022, y'all. Can you believe it? I'm so used to wearing this, I don't even notice when it's hanging from my ear. Is Living Everyday Wonder. And our theme for the month of January is Living Everyday Wonder. And are you ready for this? Dusty's talk title is Living Everyday Wonder. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And now I'd like you to please close your eyes for a moment and open your heart
and allow the healing sounds of the crystal bowls to simply wash over you. I welcome you all back into the rooms, into your bodies, and invite you to join us in the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, honoring the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. And I'd like to invite Betty and Kristen to come up and help me this morning with this. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you guys for your help this morning. And now I invite everyone to just close their eyes for another brief moment as I speak a blessing on our service this morning. I know that we are in this perfect, bright, brilliant moment, that we are connected with the one spirit, the one light, the one love. Some may choose to call God, some may choose to call it the universe, some may choose to call it by many names, but this same thread of truth, the same energy of love is in, as, and through each one of us. And I know that this perfect, blessed energy is in our congregation, in our speaker, and in our musical talent this morning. So I speak a blessing on the service, knowing that we are here by design, that we are here getting exactly what the universe had intended us to receive in this moment. And I know that our beautiful, blessed, wonderful Reverend Dusty Rippelmeyer is a true blessing to us, and that she is mightily blessed by Spirit, by God, and that she brings this wonderful truth and her wonderful depth of consciousness to us all, and that her work is something that brings light to all of us. And I'm so grateful for that. And I speak a blessing on Sandy Hemingway as he brings his wonderful talent of music and song, lifting our spirits and filling us with light. And I know that we go forward today with joy and with thanksgiving and with the wonderful gift that today brings us. And so it is. And so now I have a super short reading from Andy Warhol. He says, "You need to let the little things that would ordinarily bore you suddenly thrill you." Yes. And now I'm introducing Sandy Hemingway as he brings us a beautiful song. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. So this is my favorite Posy song ever, and I do it a lot. But I especially like to do it when I'm starting a new year. It's by Daniel Nahmod. It's called One Power. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings, or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love. You and me, one power, one power, one power is what we are. One power, oh, one power. It's the moment of creation, it's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness, the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power, one power. What we are as power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. Thank you.
I love that song. I love your rendition of it. And it fits very nicely into today's talk. Today's talk that you all were already laughing about and didn't even know it. Because last year, that very same thing happened. I think CSL figures, well, maybe after the year we had in 2020, they wanted to make it easy for us. Or maybe it's the fact that this first Sunday falls after all of the holidays and all of the special services and everything that we've done for the last 2 weeks that have made life of this community very busy. But once again, as they did last year, the themes are the same. The themes are the same for the year, the same for the month, and the same as my talk title. So it's kind of a way that they do it. What can I say? So living everyday wonder. That's it. I love, Sandy, the things that you mentioned, every little thing that you mentioned that God is like, for me, a little piece of that everyday wonder. And I love that we're having this conversation right off the bat this year, and that we're looking at this throughout the year. Now, over the past few years, Centers for Spiritual Living has been bringing forth a collective conversation that many of the centers opt to join in with. And so, once again, we are doing that this year. So hence this idea of living everyday wonder. In January, we're going to begin in January looking at some of the foundational ideas about living everyday wonder. And then beginning in February, throughout the course of December, we're going to focus our attention on this idea, living everyday wonder. But we're going to do so through the monthly themes that focus that attention on 11 different arenas of our life. And so there's 11 arenas include inner life, play, emotions, body, relationships, nature, work, finances, home, and community. So some concepts that we talk about, or some principles that we talk about, might be touched upon in several different places. But every time they're talked about, they will be talked about through the lens of that particular theme of that particular month. Now, practical application is the major conversation driving this year's theme, to really assist each and every one of us to have a deeper understanding that only comes with having lived experiences that are relevant to us. There's an old question that asks, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And the answer is practice. Practice, 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 practice. We take this step one with this one step forward by asking, how does one demonstrate a principle? And the answer to that is prove it. Ernest Holmes used to say all the time, don't take my word for it. What I want you to do is to prove it in your own lives. What I want you to do is to really use the principles and then demonstrate it through the law in your own life. That's what spiritual living is. Spiritual living is living the principles really by practicing and by proving. By practicing the principles themselves and proving it in our own lives through demonstrating through the law. Spiritual living doesn't just happen on a meditation cushion or on Sunday mornings. Spiritual living is a way of life that happens moment by moment, every single moment of every single day. It's applying the spiritual tools and the principles that you learn here, or perhaps through some other religion or some other path that you've been on, some other faith tradition, and then applying them in a regular and consistent basis. And when we do so, our lives flow smoother. They have more grace and more ease within them. Our choices are clearer, and our experiences take what seems like a miracle and makes it into an everyday occurrence. Ernest Holmes says, that which today seems to us supernatural, after it is understood, will be found spontaneously natural. The underlying truth that it is in our daily lives that we experience the divine. In our daily lives, right? Meditate and then chop wood. Meditate, do the dishes. We can't escape it. We can't escape the divine because we are inseparable from it. It is our purest essence. It is who we are at our very core. Now, when we become conscious of that truth, and that we live in our awareness of it, then our daily all of our daily activities become opportunities for transformation and become opportunities for our individual and collective evolution. This year is designed to assist us to do just that. individually and collectively, in very practical ways in those 11 different areas of our lives. John Cage says, "We are involved in a life that passes understanding, and our highest business is our daily life." As with most words in the English language, the word wonder can be used as both a noun and a verb. So as a noun, a sense of wonder is a feeling of childlike delight, amazement, and inspiration at the natural state of the world. It's a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something that is beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or really inexplicable. Right? It refers to the feeling of grateful awe that we have around some of the ordinary things in life. It's the positive feeling that can permeate our body whenever we experience it, and it causes us to pause and to really be appreciative of those things that are greater than we are. Those things that we perhaps don't even understand, but are in our life in really wonderful and powerful ways. Wonder can show up as we're exploring the world, or wonder can show up as we're commuting to work on Monday morning. It has no boundaries. As a verb, wonder can be a curiosity, or it could be a desire to learn something new. Synonyms can include to ponder or to think about. Wonder can also mean to feel doubt, as in, I wonder about the state of their relationship or the state of their marriage. Or on the flip side, to be filled with amazement, as in, people stood by and wondered at such bravery. It drives the natural feeling of wanting to know more about the world around us, like a young child with a really curious mind. The benefit of wonder is that it gives us the opportunity to slow down, to pause, and to experience the momentary magic that can always be available in each and every minute of the day. Having a sense of wonder can really assist us to feel happiness from things that we might not ordinarily even pay attention to. These things become a part of why our lives are so great, that awe, that curiosity, that appreciation for things, many of which are absolutely free, like sunsets and sunrises, or the ebbing and flow of the tides, or the chirping of birds in the morning. Haven't you been noticing them more during this little bit of warm weather? They think spring is here and they're already chirping more, at least in my mind. As we stop to smell the roses more, we will begin to view the eyes through the eyes of a child, with a similar sense of wonder and amazement. Having a sense of wonder can assist us to become a better version of ourselves. When we view the world with astonishment and admiration, we open ourselves up to learning things, learning new things, learning anything that we could possibly learn. We approach our lives with innocence, with that beginner's mind that we talked about at the end of last year. We appreciate the fact that the world is a world of boundless opportunities and possibilities, and that we are in a prime position to really make use of all of that, to really step powerfully into some of those new possibilities and new opportunities. With a sense of wonder, we can wholeheartedly engage in a new activity or a new skill that we might never have had time before to participate in. Instead of being wrapped up in distractions, we welcome the opportunity to grow and to evolve. A sense of wonder leaves us with an insatiable curiosity, encourages us to ask different and better questions about ourselves and about the world and about each other. Questions that can forever change the trajectory of our lives and the world as a whole. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. Sound familiar? Most of us tend, or many of us tend to find ourselves stuck in a rut. And we complete the same tasks at the same time with the same lack of enthusiasm over and over and over again. Maintaining a sense of wonder in our daily lives can really assist us to break free from the experience of really the mundane repetitiveness that life, our daily lives, can sometimes be. When we have a sense of wonder, we want to explore more. We see the potential of each moment and we want to make the most of it. We naturally begin to utilize our time in better ways, in ways in which we are appreciative that life is a gift and full of opportunities. As we marvel at life's wonders, we push ourselves out of our comfort zones. And no matter what exciting endeavor that we enter into or that we take on, or whatever adventure that we choose to explore, we move towards living our highest and our best because of that sense of wonder. Over Christmas, I took a break from my usual Hallmark Christmas movie extravaganza to watch Now You See Me. And it's a 2013 American heist thriller. The film features an ensemble cast of Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, Mark Ruffalo, Michael Caine, and Morgan Freeman. Now, it was first premiered in New York City on May 21st, 2013. And it became a box office success. It won many different awards. And it afforded me an opportunity last week to once again experience a moment of wonder, both as a verb and as a noun. Now, the plot follows an FBI agent and an Interpol detective who track and attempt to bring to justice a group of magicians who pull off bank heists and robberies during their performances and give the money to the audience. In the story, 4 magicians receive a tarot card right at the very beginning, which leads them all. They're independent of each other. I think they may know of each other, but they're independent. And it leads them to a New York City apartment where they discover hologram technology with instructions from an unknown benefactor about what they were to do moving forward. A year later, they perform at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. They perform as a group called the Four Horsemen. And it's a show that's funded by the insurance magnate Arthur Tressler. Their final trick that evening appears to transport an audience member from Las Vegas inside to the inside of a vault at the Credit Republican Bank in Paris, no less. Stacks of euros are drawn into the bank's air vents and are then shot out over the audience in Las Vegas. The trick is to have actually happened as the Paris vault is found empty. The FBI agent, and along with the Interpol detective, arrest and question the four horsemen, but they can't arrest them because they don't have any evidence. And so they turn their attention to an old magician, played by Morgan Freeman, who is an de facto magic debunker. He reveals a number of theories that he has about how the audience, including me, were manipulated and fooled. Or were they? Later in the movie, both of the agents and the magic debunker follow the horsemen to their next show in New Orleans. Now they pull off another amazing heist. Another amazing heist that I'm not going to talk about or give any more information about, because I know that there are people here in this audience, maybe out there in that audience, that don't appreciate too much the spoilers. So I'm going to stop. I'm only going to say that as the story unfolds, more is revealed about their relationships with each other. And for me, that is really part of the wonder of it all. Because for me, the wonder, whether it happened in that movie or it happens in any other movie, like I think about Mission Impossible or Mr. T, how did they create this thing that happens bit by bit by bit over time? And how did they have that plan? And how did they work it all out? And even if it is only an illusion, how did they do that illusion on such a grand and big scale? Now that is really the magic for me. That is really the wonder of it all for me. And just thinking about that, taking the time to wonder about it, as a verb, to wonder about it is what, makes my head spin. Now, before somebody decides that I've completely lost my mind, I will also say with complete transparency that I love. I mean, I absolutely love, capital L, capital O, capital V, capital E, love, magic, and illusion. I love it. So I'm ripe for wonder around these kinds of things. And for me, I think that's the good news, because it carries over into other parts of my life. I will also say, yes, I know it's a movie. And yes, I know that they can use special effects. And yes, I know that there's some really wonderful editing room cutting that can happen to make us see exactly what they want us to see. What I realize is that even though I know it's just a movie, and even though I know that the magicians and the illusionists can have a whole lot of control over what they want me to see, that I was still struck with a sense of wonder. I still was. A childlike amazement. A feeling of surprise mixed with admiration caused by something unexpected, unfamiliar, and inexplicable. I can't explain. And I wasn't even in the room. I wasn't in the audience. I was watching it on a movie. And I still felt that sense of wonder. And not only did I feel that sense of wonder in that moment, but also what came up for me was all of the other memories of moments that I had had that before, that I had had that exact same feeling, that I was blown away by something that I had seen or experienced. And often it is around magic, but that's not the only time I ever experience it. I can also experience that feeling in something that's provided by nature. Perhaps a beautiful sunrise or a sunset or a chance encounter with a roaring lion or a majestic mountain range. Other times it's been a haunting melody or an idea that was conveyed in a message or the kindness and generous words of a stranger. The particular vehicle doesn't matter. It is the feeling that does. It's the feeling that arises inside of us. It's the way that it can wake us up from the sleep-like state that we have been in. It's the way that it can connect us to the amazing universe that we live in, and the way that it can cause us to question those things that we've always taken for granted. Wonder involves the important element of surprise, which spans the divide between expectation and reality, directing our attention to something unexpected and prompting us to pay attention to those things that we very rarely pay attention to. This movie was that for me. It reminded me of that. Our experience of wonder can be a life-changing moment. We have and continue to see and experience great pain and loss around us during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? And multiple senseless deaths through mass shootings, police brutality, and natural disasters. The last couple of years have been very intense for all of us. It's difficult to feel wonder when we are grieving or ill or caring for loved ones. Yet the beauty and all of the wonders in the world are still there. They're still there, hiding behind the veil of our human perceptions and what's going on in this world of form. They're always there, and they're always waiting until we, each and every single one of us, are ready to appreciate them again. Now, there is so much in our world to really feel wonder about, or to wonder about. And doing so, the fact of the matter remains that doing so may actually bring us the solace that we so need during these difficult times. John O'Donohue says, "When our eyes are grazed with wonder, the world reveals its wonders to us. There are people who see only dullness in the world, and that is because their eyes have already been dulled. So much depends on how we look at things. The quality of our looking determines what we come to see." The quality of our looking determines what we come to see. Another challenge is that while we are born with a natural sense of wonder, as we age, it slowly diminishes. Our responsibilities grow as we grow older. So, mortgages, car payments, medical insurance, bills, and on and on. As much as we want to avoid it, the cycle of obligations can sometimes, weigh us down. So much so that we may lose our inner child or our childlike ways, and with it, our sense of wonder. So the bottom line, however, is that this unique way of looking at the world, is a gift. A gift that everyone really should try to cultivate in their lives. Rachel Carson says, "A child's world is fresh and new and beautiful, full of wonder and excitement. It is our misfortune that for most of us, that clear-eyed vision, that true instinct for what is beautiful and awe-inspiring is dimmed and even lost before we reach adulthood. If I had influence with the good fairy who is supposed to preside over all children, I would ask that her gifts to each child in the world be a sense of wonder so indestructible that it would last throughout life." So the question on everybody's mind is probably, how can I get it back? Researchers usually suggest that there are a number of ways to have more wonder in our lives. First, simply slow down. Slow down our thinking and slow down our physical movement. Really stopping and looking around may open us up to more wondrous experiences because they're out there. The second is to experience new things. Seek out the novel in our lives. Take up a new hobby, or travel to a new and exciting destination, or take up a new course of study or a master class in something, or even something as simple as find a new way to drive home from work. The third is to find many moments in our days when we notice some type of positive interaction between people. Now, it could be an act of kindness, or perhaps it's just two people hugging. Last Thursday, I saw the movie Come From Away. It's a musical. I didn't see the movie. I actually was in the theater and I saw the musical. It's a true story about what happened during 9/11, when 200 planes were ordered to land at one particular airport in Newfoundland, right outside of the city of Gander. Over 7,000 people descended on that little town on that day. And really, the response of the people is nothing but wondrous. It is the only response, the only reaction that you could have, besides sitting up there in your seat sobbing. It's wonder. The invitation is to take those kinds of moments into our hearts and to allow them to really soften us and to allow them to really crack us open. We can also recalibrate our threshold for wonder by recalling childhood memories, or taking really a hint from the children in our lives, or the grandchildren in our lives, should I say. The invitation is to watch the children around us and see how wonder is such a big part of their lives, and do what they do. Emulate them for a change. There's a story about a rooster who crowed lustily every single morning at sunrise. The problem was he actually believed it was his crowing that caused the sun to rise. Now, it gave him a sense of significance. It meant his life had worth. Then one morning, the rooster overslept. So he hurriedly raced up to his spot on the top of the chicken coop, only to find that the sun had already risen without him. As you can imagine, his dream world collapsed. And as he realized his self-delusion. But then he thought, in the very next moment he thought, it may be that my crowing does not cause the sun to rise, but I still can awaken to celebrating its rising. I'm going to say that again. It may not be that my crowing causes the sun to rise, but I can still awaken to celebrating its rising. So the invitation as we begin this new year is to join the rooster in awakening and developing a celebratory consciousness. Not just dealing with something out there, but actually celebrating within here. The goal is to shift to a different state of consciousness, so that the experience of wonder is not just something that we bump into every once in a while, but actually the ground of being from which we live our lives. Can you imagine that? The invitation as we begin this new year is to cultivate a sense of wonder, to begin wherever we are, and to appreciate the everyday experiences that we all experience each and every single day of our lives. Morgan Harper Nichols says, living in the moment is learning how to live between the big moments. It is learning how to make the most of the in-betweens and having the audacity to make those moments just as exciting. say yes to living everyday wonder. And so it is. So it is. So I just invite us to turn within, to allow ourselves to turn away from the world of form and turn our attention inward to the center of our being, to that space and place that I call God, our Christ consciousness, that divinity within us. It is here that I recognize God. It is here that I feel my oneness with it. It is here that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was created by God in its image and likeness. That right where I am, God is in its fullness and in its wholeness. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is the truth of each and every person sitting here at Sophie's today, watching us live through YouTube or Facebook Live, or watching us later. In fact, all sentient beings on the planet. And it is from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each and every single one of us today, affirming that we can all, with ease and grace, lean into our childlike sense of wonder. That we can look at everything as it is unfolding in our lives, every experience, every relationship, every moment, as something worthy of wonder, as something worthy of awe, as something worthy of our curiosity. Knowing that each and every single moment is truly the unfolding of the presence of God. So what is there not to be wondrous about? What is there not to feel elated about? We may not recognize it with our human eyes, but truly, everything is the presence of God. And so the curiosity can be about where is that presence in this experience? How can it cause me to ask different questions about myself or about everyone else or about the world, questions that forever change the trajectory of my life? I love that. I affirm ease and grace for each one of us around living that kind of life, a life filled with wonder, a life filled with our awareness of the wonder that is already present, and tapping into it and bringing it forward in more and more and more into our lives, and being someone that somebody else looks at and says, I want more of that, and then emulates it, knowing that it shifts our world for the good. I'm so grateful to know this truth and so grateful to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes. That my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them into that law, allowing God to be God. And I invite everyone to anchor this prayer for themselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you all. It is now that time of our day for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. This is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and warmth and love throughout the Triangle area for ourselves and for others. Together, we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the experience of sufficiency in the world. There are several ways that you can give, and they are up here on the screen. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Up in the upper right-hand corner of the front page, there's a little button that says give, and if you push on that, then you'll be walked right through the process. You can text the word give using the following phone number, 919-230-8445, or you can send a check, if you have any of those left, to our office at PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. I now invite everyone to just place your hand over your heart with your gift or with an intention for yourself and our community, and repeat after me our giving affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. Thank you all so very much. Now please join me as we welcome back the amazing, the magnificent Sandy Hemingway.
Share it again, but after hearing that message, I think it's just perfect. It's called Butterfly. When the seasons come to pass, turn my wings and fly so fast, so high, ride the wind. When it's time, I hear the cold, listening, I fall up into what will be. Don't ask why, I just enjoy the ride. And when it's time, I rise like a butterfly. Like a butterfly, I ride the wind. Begin again. Like a butterfly, like a butterfly, ride the wind. Begin again. When I feel that I'm alone, like my heart has turned to stone, so hard I go high. When I close my eyes and breathe deep inside, I finally see the truth. Change will come. I don't ask why, I just enjoy the ride. And when it's time, I rise like a butterfly. Like a butterfly, I ride the wind. Begin again. Like a butterfly, like a butterfly, I ride the wind. Begin again. Every life is a cocoon that we have spun. Every day we must decide, will we slumber in the safety of the same, or spread our wings and learn to fly? enjoy the ride. And when it's time, I rise like a butterfly. Like a butterfly, I ride the wheel. Begin again. Like a butterfly, like a butterfly, ride the wind. Begin again. Thank you.
Sandy, thank you so much. Ah, what a way to get inspired, right? Okay, if anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all of the ministers and practitioners. And if anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone for anything, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. And now, in the comfort of your own homes or here, please stand for our January affirmation. This is a call and response. Please say it with meaning and repeat after me. Spiritual living is a way of life that happens every moment of every day. The wonder of spirit is everywhere in my daily life, just waiting for me to live it. The more I orient myself to the wonders all around me, the greater my capacity to love. The more I appreciate the wonders as parts of myself, the greater my capacity to experience joy. I choose to approach life with awe and wonder, which transforms my experience of it. I choose to approach life with curiosity, which encourages me to see the bigger picture. I am present to what is and open to the limitless possibilities that are available. I become what I practice, and all is well. And I mean, let's say that one again. I become what I practice, and all is well. And so it is. And now if you just, for a moment, close your eyes again. So wonderful to be a part of this event this morning, to recognize that there is wonder, joy, expectation, creativity, abundance in every single moment. And that as we move forward today in our lives, that we bring this remembrance of this wonder into everything we do, into our thinking, into our speaking. We are representing the good life. And I'm so grateful that this is the truth of who and what I am and who and what we are here at the Triangle Center of Spiritual Living. And so it is.
Thank you all so very much for joining us today. Have a really wonderful week. Happy New Year to everyone. And we'll see you soon. I love you.